it's Amanda. I have been trying to make this video for the last like 2 hours, and every time I get choked up, I start crying and I begin to feel a little anxious because this is something that is different for me. Now, I've been inspired to make this video by my friend Karina, who has a channel, and she has a channel named One Day at a Time, because it's truly about one day at a time, right? Karina is in her late 50s, and she quit her job in a manufacturing plant to take care of her disabled husband, Glenn. And Glenn is not very mobile, but he does have joys, and they have such a wonderful life together. And I appreciate it, Karina, that you share these journeys with us. And honestly, she inspired me to make this video about why I don't want to be a caregiver. And I've talked a lot about people making suggestions and suggesting jobs for me. And even though you see me for this much time, there's a little part of you who thinks that you really know me, right? Because I'm a very personable person, and I'm very transparent, and I really don't like to pretend on my channel that I'm anything other than myself. Now, I'm not going to tell you about the time when I was 18, 19, and 20, and I had decided to move from my little town because the 2008 recession really took a toll on my job, and I was only working part-time. Now, I couldn't afford my apartment during that time, so I really had to move. I'm not going to talk about the time when I moved in with my grandfather and found out that he had dementia. And even though it was a slow onset, he still had dementia. I'm not going to talk about the time I saved my money and I went to CNA school and I did clinicals and I worked in a care facility. I'm not going to tell you about the time in clinicals when I lost my other grandfather to diabetes and I had to go to a funeral. I'm not going to tell you about the time that I had to watch my grandfather walk out of his house for the last time, and then later to live in a lockdown facility. I'm not going to tell you about the time I got pregnant at 21 and had a baby by 22. I'm not going to tell you about the last time I saw my grandfather and I brought my infant son, and my mom and I went to see him for the very last time. I'm not going to tell you about the time that she cried in the hallway as he held my infant son and said, "You look like somebody I know, but I don't know them anymore. I don't know who they are. But you're so darn cute. And I think I really like you." Even though I was sitting right there. He couldn't remember me. I'm not going to talk to you about the time I became a mother again at 24 years old to my youngest son. Not going to talk about it. However, I'm going to talk to you exactly about why I don't want to be a caregiver. And as this may get emotional, I want to make sure that you know all the facts. I was a struggling young mother working jobs that were not a career. McDonald's is not a career. Taco Bell is not a career. Burger King, Jack in the Box is not a career. Just a job. And as much as some people were like, "Oh yeah, that could be a career," it's not. And I had many trials and tribulations. By the time little Piggy, my youngest, was going into toddlerhood, little Jay started school. And little Jay was smart, thriving, talking, walking, doing all the things that any other kid was doing during his milestones. And I thought we had it in the bag. I thought we were good. I was gonna be able to go to work. I wasn't gonna have to worry about daycare during that time because I was gonna get off by the time that he got off of school, and we were gonna do all of the things that I wanted to do as a mother. We were gonna cook cookies, and we were going to have barbecues. We're gonna have birthday parties. We were gonna do all sorts of things on the weekends. And then I got a call from the school. And I thought to myself, why is the school calling me? I answer the phone, it's the principal. Something's going on with little Jay, and his behaviors don't quite match what the school is looking for, and we have our concerns. Can you come in for a meeting? By the time little Jay hit first, second grade, he was going to specialty classes, and there was no real diagnosis. We had our concerns and we had our suggestions of what could be going on with little Jay. And then in third grade, little Jay was diagnosed. Little Jay was diagnosed with autism. And more of a high-functioning autism, more like Asperger's. But little Jay had already been going to specialty classes, and he was already going half day at one school and half day at the other. During that time was very rough for me. I had already quit a lot of jobs and I had been fired. And I was quitting and being fired because I had to put my son first. First and always. Because every job comes and goes. And I was working the crappiest jobs known to man. Fast food, retail, gas station, convenience stores. I was working at temp agencies. I was trying to grasp at anything that would allow my schedule to work. But it didn't. Little Jay needed me more than any job. And even though there was a diagnosis, it was very hard to get him care. And I know this sounds crazy, but if you think about it, it's really hard for adults to get on Social Security, and it's even harder for children. And even though I was trying my best, I still needed to be there for little Jay first. And of course, little Piggy as well. I couldn't push my youngest son to the side because I was busy caring for little Jay. So when a driving job came available, I didn't even know that they even existed, but I had met my best friend's soon-to-be wife. And she said, I do Instacart for a living, and I can take the kids with me. I said, you gotta be freaking kidding. And she was telling me how much she was making. I'm talking $1,400-$1,600 a week. And I thought, that's the ticket. So I started Instacart. I got scared. Not gonna lie to you. I got scared and I said, I'm making a lot of money and I'm bringing my kid with me and this is kind of working out. And then I was told, go get a regular job. So I pushed Instacart to the side and I went and got a job back in fast food where I was managing. And I will never forget this moment. I got a call from the school. Little Jay did really good at the specialty school for the first few hours of the day, and now he's really having a hard time because he's now going to the regular school and kids are picking on him and he's getting defensive. And I think we need you to come down to the school. And I thought to myself, I can't do this. I'm at another job and I'm the manager of this job. And so later that evening, I got a phone call from my dad. And my dad started doing gig work during the pandemic back when Postmates was a thing. And he says, Amanda, I've got your ticket. I know you've been doing Instacart, but I want you to try DoorDash. He sent me a link. I forgot about it. I thought I could go back to Instacart. I can go back to shopping. And on my days off, I was starting to do some Instacart again. I'm thinking, well, if I have to quit the fast food job to take care of my little Jay, because he's number one and little Piggy is the runner-up. Not because I don't love him any more or any less than little Jay, but because little Jay needed me the most at the moment. And I looked over at Jordan and I said, I think, by the way, if you don't know, my husband is Jordan. I said, I think that I need to start trying to get this DoorDash thing underway. And he says, well, I mean, you already kind of got burnt out with Instacart. I mean, is DoorDash going to be any different? As people were coming up to my window through that whole week, I was talking to DoorDashers. My lobby was closed. It was the pandemic. And I'm like, tell me a little bit about DoorDash. And this guy was telling me he was making almost $2,000 a month. And I said, that's the ticket. That's the ticket. I went on a break. I got my phone out, clicked on the link my dad sent me, and I started signing up for DoorDash. I'll never forget this, you guys. I call my husband and I said, I think I got on. I clocked back in from my break and I grabbed the headset from the other manager and said, go take a lunch. He's like, DoorDasher's waiting at the window. And I said, wait. I got this. Went to the window. I hung halfway out that window and I had my phone and I said, I need this to be quiet. Am I on DoorDash? It says dash now. What does that mean? Do I click the button? He's like, yeah, that's it. That's all you do. Take your first order. And I told him all about my Instacart situation as I'm waiting to bag up his food. And he says, you're going to love DoorDash. And you can dash at any time and you can create your own schedule just like you were on Instacart. But it's so much easier. So I do DoorDash. I do all the other apps now. I have done DoorDash. I've done Uber Eats. I have done Instacart. I have done Spark. I have done rideshare where I've picked up people on Uber and Lyft. And I found that those jobs work best for my schedule because I'm already a caregiver for my little Jay. And even though I have help from his dad's family, and things have gotten a lot better because, he's 13 now. And honestly, he's thriving fairly well. And his brother is doing extremely well and thriving very well. I continue to keep the job I have because I'm already taking care of somebody. I don't want to go do caregiving to come home to caregive. And I didn't want to do it back then either because I'm already caring for somebody. And I love my kids. And even when little Jay does not need me, little Piggy needs me too. Because he's only 10. And even though little Jay may think at 13, he may not need his mom as much, I keep these jobs in case they need me. In case I have to put the torch down from work and take some time to deal with the situation for them. And their needs are important to me. Being a mom comes first. And jobs come and go. However, I like my job. I enjoy getting in this car every single day. I love being my own boss. I love being on my own time. I love the fact that if I want to make more money, I can work the whole day. I also love the fact that I don't have to work every night and every weekend. I also need to tell you about the fact that I don't want to work in any other medical field. And I'm going to explain exactly why. And you may think it's pathetic and write me a terrible hate comment. But I don't like to go to the doctor. I don't like going to the doctor. I don't want to go to the doctor. I hate going to my specialist for my thyroid disease. I hate getting my blood drawn. I can watch myself get my blood drawn, but if I watch somebody else get their blood drawn, I would hit the floor. I mean, like, blackout. I'm talking blackout. Don't want to see nobody's blood being taken. I can watch somebody get tattooed. I can watch somebody get pierced, but I cannot do blood. I can't. I also don't want to touch anybody. I don't want to touch nobody. I don't like touching people at all. I don't want anybody to touch me. I have a hard enough time having somebody hold my hand when I go get my nails done. I don't want to work in the medical field. I cannot. Sick people make me anxious. I don't want to get sick. I have an autoimmune disorder, and that's how I ended up with the thyroid disease I have. I don't want to be sick. I get anxious over the fact that I literally sat the other day in Walgreens next to a person that was coughing and looked like they were keeling over. Sick people freak me out, man. I'm not kidding you. And the very first time I cared for somebody at a care facility and then they passed away, I thought I was going to hit the floor. I'm like, that person's dead. I mean, I'm not kidding you guys. I think it all freaks me out. It gives me such anxiety to the point where, like, my husband Jordan makes me go to the doctor. He makes me go to the specialist. I mean, like, I turn, like, I know I'm ghostly already, but, like, I turn a sheet of white. And he's like, you can see, like, the drips of sweat. That cold sweat coming down your face. I mean, all of it freaks me out. I also have a hard time seeing people get billed for stuff when they can't really afford it. I don't want to be putting people on a payment plan. That would break my heart because I've been the person on the other side of the phone going, I really can't afford this. How come my insurance didn't pay for it? I'm scared I can't pay the bill. I don't want to work in the medical field, and I don't want to work in dental either. I don't want to be in your mouth. I don't want to be in your mouth. And the true reason that I'm not a caregiver is because I'm already a caregiver. I care for my child who's special needs. I also care for my other child who's 10 that needs his mom. I'm already caring for people. I am the mother of the house. But I'm telling you right now, I don't want to, Glenda, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't offend you, but I don't want to take your blood, girl. I don't want to be a phlebotomist, man. No thanks. I'm good. I like my driving job, so thinking of that, I gotta go. But as always, do what you can with what you got because it's all you have to work with. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.